Welcome, friends. This is Brevity Sports, coming at you from our caves where we talk major news in major sports. Here with my co-host, Big Z, and myself, Fredo Lay. Yeah, welcome back, everybody. It has been a couple weeks since we have joined you here at Brevity Sports, but we are on our spring break. You know how we do, Big Z, living it up on spring break. How was your break, Big Z? Did you have fun?
Oh, it was great, man. It was great. Did a bunch with the fam and just had some good times. Went to the park a bunch. He's in that stage where he just started learning how to walk, so he's everywhere, man. But it's awesome.
That's
loves
exciting.
Baseball. He loves baseball. So every time we go to a park with a baseball field and he sees, a team practicing or something, he just points to them and just loves staring at them. So I just envisioned myself coaching him one day and playing catch with him. So I'm pretty stoked on that because I know he's gonna love it. So it was good. It was good. How about you? Dude,
your kid is cute as heck. It's only a matter of time before he ends up a mascot for like some high school team. Like some high school team is gonna adopt him. Should be like Oliver, just chilling on the sideline.
I think he could be cute, like the babies on the diaper boxes. Like,
yeah,
I'm not just being biased. Like my baby is freaking cute, chunky. So chunky.
So cute.
He could definitely be a diaper box baby for sure.
He could definitely be a diaper box baby. I have had a blast, man. It was real. Went to Texas for a little bit with the family. That was cool. Had some good barbecue down there. Got to see Magnolia. My wife was super into that. Magnolia Farms or whatever that is. Chip and Joanna Gaines. I guess they're a big deal. Got a signed like steel thing from Jimmy Don. I don't know. None of these people are paying us, by the way. This is all free advertisement. But
free advertisement.
Super cool. They actually built, this is really cool. They built a wiffle ball stadium where like Babe Ruth, like Lou Gehrig, like all these guys, all these like legends of the game played. And I didn't learn as much about it. I actually didn't find out until we'd played there for a while. But yeah, it was super cool. I did that, hung out, and now we're back in the full swing. Baseball. I've already had 2 baseball games this week. My older kids' team, Mercy, the team last night. It was beautiful. Ooh. My younger guy just tied a team. We should have gotten a W, but they were, he's a little bit younger, so they're a little squirrely tonight. And we got 2 games on Saturday. So finished up the week strong. And of course, for you, our Brevity listeners, thank you so much for waiting for this episode. We are so excited to be back. We'll always be back. Don't you worry. Okay. Even if we take breaks, we'll be back. We will be back. We got the NFL. We're catching up. Any big news, we'll find out. NBA playoffs are underway officially. The NHL playoffs are literally a game away. We could not be more excited. I am telling you right now, if you're listening to this podcast, do not sleep on playoff hockey. They hit twice as hard. They skate twice as fast. The whole thing is just real. And then, of course, MLB opening day. We're catching back up. We're talking about MLB. It's been going on for a couple weeks. Games are a half hour shorter. It's beautiful. The only people that are sad, I think, are the beer vendors. So we're going to deal with that later. Big Z, talk to me, dude. What do we see from the NFL? Aaron Rodgers, is he just going to retire? Is he just gone?
I have no clue. I haven't heard anything about Aaron Rodgers. It's crazy, man. Like it was such a big thing. He went into his darkness retreat.
It was the thing.
He comes out of it, goes on the Pat McAfee show. He intends to play with the Jets in 2023, as he said. And now it's just radio silence from both camps. Did read something today that he told the Jets that there is no rush for them to make a trade before May. He told them this. I don't know really where he's coming from by saying that. Like, who's that benefiting? Is it benefiting the Jets? Like, because at some point they're going to have to make a decision. Like, they only have a certain amount of cap space and they need to keep filling holes. But if they don't get Aaron Rodgers and they keep waiting, like all these other players are going to be taken. So at some point it's like, make up your mind, dude. Or as the Packers, are they the ones holding up the trade talks? I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. I think the Packers are loving it, to be honest. And I think probably Aaron Rodgers came out with that statement because he knows the Packers are loving it and he doesn't want them to love it too much. And because he probably doesn't really have as much control as he thinks he does. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me that he told him not to ask for a trade, because if you're him, don't you want to know who's on your team? Like, let's start our offseason programs together. Like that's what I would want. But Aaron Rodgers, but let's be honest, he's never really been about winning. It's really been about a me mentality. And that's about it. So that could be it. Really.
Yeah. I don't understand what the holdup is. I don't understand either side at this point. If you're Green Bay, you got to think getting something for him is better than getting nothing. And we know that Aaron Rodgers will have no qualm. This guy has no qualm sitting out, I think. I don't think he's somebody who has any problem not playing. And so I think the long game for them actually hurts the Packers. And I think that's probably where he's coming from, is like, look, just hold out. Because he signed a 3-year deal, right? So it's not that he's a free agent. Didn't he just sign that like a year ago?
He has 2 years left. Yeah, he has 2 years
left. So, I mean, the idea, like, just wait till May, I don't know where he's coming from with that either. I think he's just hoping that maybe the Green Bay will roll over. I don't know. But when I look at it, something like that, it just shows me, again, if you're the Jets, this is another red flag on some level for me. And I know people are hearing this like, oh, this guy's hating on Aaron Rodgers. Look, there's no decisiveness. Again, like, just wait till May. No big deal.
No leadership, man.
There's already quarterbacks and receivers meeting, right? Like, we already see the Dolphins receivers meeting, playing with their quarterback. Like, we see some of the teams that we expect to roll, some of the teams that we expect to see in the playoffs. They're already getting in underway. They're already building that team chemistry. First guy, just wait till, no big deal. Just wait till after May. I got it. Don't worry. I got it. I don't know how I feel about that nonchalantness. I just know it makes me nervous.
And he's old. It's not like he can just get up off the couch and play. Like, we saw last season, the guy struggled. He was getting beat up. He had the worst year of his career statistically because he's getting old. He's becoming washed up.
Go back and listen to our podcast. We talked about it. He did not a good year.
And Jordan Love, like, coming from his point of view, like, what does this do? Right? Like, do you really want me to be your starting quarterback? Like, I don't know what you guys are even going to be doing in going into the draft. Like, these are all the things that, like, in his mind, I'm like, am I your guy? Because it looks like I'm your guy, but you really haven't proved it to me yet. Like, should I ask for a trade? Because, like, next year I'm going to become a free agent, So it's like, I don't know. I think the Packers are playing to fire, like you said.
I think you want to be decisive. I think especially when it comes to young quarterbacks, at some point you've got to be decisive. You got to be like, you are our guy, regardless of what happens. Look at what Lynch is doing in the Niners is a perfect comparison. Look at what Lynch is doing with the Niners, with Brock, right? You're our guy. Moving forward, you're our guy. As of right now, you got a shot to be our guy. At the very least, you have earned the right to be in competition, to be our guy. I'll tell you somebody who surprised me making that much money, considering they didn't play on a team for a whole year. It's not like they were off for a couple months. It's not like they were off for maybe, half the year, maybe 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. This guy missed the entire year. OBJ coming in yay hot with a $15 million contract from the Ravens. What is going on, Big Z?
Well, good for him. I mean,
good for him.
He wasn't going to get that money from any other team. So, a few weeks ago, the rumor came out saying that he wanted $20 million a year, and he came out and said, no, I rebut that. It's not $20 million. And then all the other people like, yeah, he's probably going to get 5 or 6 from some team with an incentive-based contract.
Right.
15, man. Like, that is nuts. First off, the fact that he thinks that he deserves that is crazy.
Right.
But like I said, he has a good agent. He got that 15 million, but I don't know, like, what is he really thinking? Does he really think that he's going to be a game changer for this Ravens team? Especially if you have Tyler Huntley throwing you the ball, because in my opinion, Lamar Jackson is not going to come back. There's too many bridges burned. I know that he posted a screenshot of him and OBJ FaceTiming a couple hours after the contract was signed, but there's too much bad blood between Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I think that OBJ's going to have a miserable year, especially if you don't have Lamar Jackson throwing you the ball. I don't know what else you can do. You're coming off an ACL injury. Yeah, you you're talented, but you should have gone to a team that wants to win, that's in contention, right? This just shows you that he was just looking out for himself, looking out for his money, and he got it. He got paid, but it's going to be a miserable year, especially in the AFC North, where you have the Steelers, you have the Browns, you have these teams in this division that is historically tough, right? Especially in the cold weather. In the winter, your knee is not going to be feeling good, my man. Like,
no,
but good for you. Good for you for getting your money, I guess. But I don't know what he's thinking. You're
not beating the Bengals. You're not beating the Bengals. Move doesn't help you beat the Bengals, but more power to you. Good luck. I don't know if I'm the Ravens. This whole situation is just surprising to me because I feel like they should be in a bit of a rebuild, especially with the way this has gone with Lamar Jackson and the talent that we see coming up with this little event. I don't know if you've heard of it. Very small event called the NFL Draft, where the best players in college football come and get selected. If I'm a Ravens fan, I'm like, hey guys, this guy clearly doesn't want to be a part of us. Let's go trade some picks. Let's go get one of these young studs coming out of the college football. I mean, you got so much talent in NCAA right now. I mean, come on, son. There's got to be something here. Go get somebody. Go do something. Go move some pieces so you can get a pick. Do whatever you got to do. But instead, they're over here signing OBJ for $15 million when you're hoping he can stay healthy.
Is it just like a fan service thing? You know, like
I don't like
ticket
it.
Holders.
It feels very Cowboys to me. Oops, did I say that? My bad. It feels very Cowboys.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's just a way. It's kind of like the Oakland A's. We love Moneyball. Just letting you guys know, we love Moneyball.
I love me some Moneyball.
Their 2002 season, they had no one, like star-studded roster, but they traded for David Justice from the Yankees. And everyone was like, this guy's washed up. Like, what are they doing? It's kind of like the same, kind of echoes the same sentiments. Like there, it's like, this is gonna put butts in the seats. That's pretty much it. And I'm not saying that OBJ is not talented, but he's nowhere near the guy he used to be. He has two ACL tears. Like that's a fact. Like, and it's on the same knee. So like, you're just not going to be as good as you were. But hey, he got his bag, but poor Ravens fans, man. But you know what?
It just feels bad, especially with some of the talent. Like I said, some of the talent coming out of the draft.
Yeah, it does. But Harbaugh is going to find a way to get them to get 8 or 9 wins. It just seems like, because that's the one thing that Ravens have going for them is that stability, the organizational stability that they've always had. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is, doesn't matter who their defense is. They always have that organizational stability, and they're able to at least be in the hunt for the playoffs year in and year out. So I guess they have that to fall back on, because a lot of teams don't have that, So
right, that's stability. So many people don't have that. You know what I mean? And I mean, it reminds me of a lot. He's in the same camp to me as Mike Vrabel, right? Like the Titans, they get rid of Brown. And it's like, who the heck are they going to throw the ball to? Apparently throwing it to like somebody's cousin. I don't even know. But Vrabel, again, just they're relevant, right? Like when you have that good of a coach, they manage to stay relevant. Kudos to them. We're going to see how it goes. I can't wait to watch the draft. We're going to be talking about that a lot more as it comes up here. Yeah. Cannot wait for that. You already know. And then, of course, we're moving right along. Look, the NBA playoffs, if you didn't know, now you know. It's underway, and it's already crazy. It's already insane. The Lakers go through in overtime, right? They're losing by like 16 points. They're supposed to walk away with this because half of the team, half of the Timberwolves are suspended. But of course, it becomes a game somehow. The Lakers have to win it in overtime. The Hawks beat the Heat. Kudos to them. And then today, we see the Bulls take out the Raptors. Kudos to them. And right now, as we speak, because we're filming this on a Wednesday night, the Thunder are playing the Pelicans. They're tied in the fourth quarter. I mean, this is what you want. Look, I have been a big critic of the NBA lately, but this is what you want. You want close games, down to the wire with teams that had no other shot at being relevant. This is the kind of thing that furthers your sport. This is great for basketball. There's teams, again, they didn't have the best year. Maybe somebody got injured, maybe, whatever, an aging roster, whatever it is. And yet here they are competing down the stretch. Expanded playoffs are good for sports. And I'm glad basketball did it. Big Z, you looking forward to these playoffs? You keeping an eye on it?
Oh, it's fun. I've at least tuned into all the games so far. Watched the Laker game last night. As a Laker fan, of course, I'm super happy about it. To defend the Lakers from your take about the Wolves being half of their team being suspended, without Rudy Gobert this year, they were 12-4. They were 12-4 without Rudy Gobert. So their offense was actually statistically better by 6 points without him. So, but I knew they weren't going to blow them out. Everyone was like, they're going to blow them out. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, the Lakers are going to Laker and they're going to win.
No, they still have Anthony Towns. Come on.
But look, they won an ugly game, and that's what you got to do. A win's a win. They're going in, playing Memphis in the first round. We can talk about that in a little bit about their chances, but I think this is, like you said, this is great for the NBA. Expanded playoffs is great for every other league, especially because the teams that never get the chance, like this year, Oklahoma City, they've been, bottom feeders of the league the past few years. Now they're in it. They're tied right now, but now they're in it. It gives these fan bases a chance to get a cheer on their team, right? So 100%. It's fun. And it also gives a clear advantage to the number 1 through 6 seeds, because now they get a whole week off from the end of the regular season during this play-in week, as opposed to a few years ago when they didn't have this play-in tournament. They didn't get that rest. They just went straight into the playoffs. So it's a win-win for the fan bases, for the NBA, because it's more revenue. It's more win for the players because it's more revenue for them. And it's a win-win for the players, because if you're that 1 through 6 seed, you get that rest that you so desperately need, because they're just playing so much basketball. So I love it. It's really fun. And these guys are just playing with all their hearts out, man. Like they're playing, even though they may not win the next round. They're playing with all their hearts. The Bulls were actually the first 10 seed to win in the play-in since it was constructed. So tonight when they beat the Raptors, they upset them. They were down by 19 and they came back. So they're the first 10 seed to win in the play-in, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That's great. Yeah. And I agree with you about the Thunder. I think it's nice for a Thunder team that just a few short years ago, this was a team with Russell Westbrook when he was actually playing pretty good basketball. And I'm not trying to take a shot at Russell Westbrook. I mean, shot is there if you want it, I guess. But when he was playing pretty good basketball, I'm actually a big fan of Westbrook. I thought if he would have just accepted his role of just getting to the hole, he'd have a much better career. I don't know why he tries to shoot. No one can stop you from getting to the hole. No one can stop you.
Too fast. Yeah.
Get to the hole. Regardless, they had him, Kevin Durant, and James Harden all on one team. And then all of a sudden, the Thunder are left with nothing, right? So I'm so happy for them as a fan base, getting into the playoffs. Hopefully, I am pulling for you. I'm not going to lie. I don't like what's going on with the Pelicans and Zion. It just seems very confusing to me. It seems very lackluster. I'm not going to lie. Man. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
He's such a talent.
Like he is.
Granted, it was December. He played in November, December this year. They were the 1 seed in the West. I know it's a small sample size, but he was averaging like 26 points, double-digit rebounds. Like when healthy, he's a beast. And he came out yesterday and he said, I feel fine physically, but I just don't feel like Zion. So I'm not going to play yet. And I'm like, they just extended you. They gave you a 5-year, $200-something million deal. And
I don't like it.
Come on. It's a shame because he's fun to watch.
I saw that quote.
Kind of like John Morant, just pure basketball player, great talent. And it sucks.
I saw that quote and I hated it. I saw that quote and immediately your team's in the playoffs. This to me is again, and it seems like we're shooting a dead horse here, but it's a bit like Lamar Jackson. It's at the end of the playoffs, as they get into the playoffs, you're not sure how he feels. There's unclear reports coming out. We don't know if he's 100%. We don't know if he's 80%. We don't know if he can play, if he can't play. Is the contract? Look, you got your contract, dude. Just get out there and play. There's a lot more certainty here for you. You already got your contract. Get out there and play. Who cares if you don't feel like Zion? If you can run around and dunk on people, you can run around and dunk on people. Just get out there and play. It just seems.
Just do it, bro.
Just seems. Yeah. 100%, dude. 100%. I'm there with you. And then obviously we're looking at all the teams here. The Kings. Excited for them. Look, when I was younger, I remember Kobe and Shaq going against like Chris Webber and Djokovic, Djokovic is a tennis player. What's it? Vlade Divac. Sorry, Vlade Divac. I remember all these guys.
Mike Bibby.
Right. Mike Bibby, just diamond on fools, just diamond all over the court. Like, I remember when the Kings were good. So I love it. And yes, I know that I'm aging myself here, but I love seeing these teams that I watched for years just be terrible, but back in the day, they were powerhouses. They were so good. You had to go through Sacramento, and the Lakers did that, of course. But you had to go through them, of course. Like teams like the Bucks, we're not surprised. The Suns are there. Kevin Durant found another playoff team to jump to. Big shocker there. You know, we're going to see how it goes. That's right. I'm taking shots, baby. I'm taking shots. So what do you think of these playoffs overall, man? Lakers get through. What do you think? What do you think of these playoffs?
I'm going to have the most homer take of it all. I got the Lakers winning the whole thing.
Let's go.
They play the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies are in just disarray, man. First off, you got the Ja Morant thing. Half their team is injured, and they're young. They are young. And if you guys listen, again, we aren't sponsored by this show or guy, but Colin Cowherd, he always talks about it. In the playoffs, age helps in the playoffs. In the regular season, age kind of, it plays a factor because those guys are doing a lot of load management, all that BS. Right. But in the playoffs, this is where your experience and your age comes into play, and it's a big factor. I really think that LeBron, Anthony Davis, other guys on their team, even D'Angelo Russell, he's been in the playoffs before. This is going to help them. Last night, when I saw LeBron play, I had never seen playoff LeBron on the Lakers. It wasn't the same as in the bubble because that was just a weird year. But I saw this guy playing like he used to with the Cavaliers when he was in the playoffs. And I was like, you know what, LeBron? This is the LeBron I like. Just given 110% every single time. I think that they can be the Grizzlies. I think they got it in 6. And then they play the winner of the Kings Warriors series. I think that they have the Kings number if the Kings move on because the Kings are just young. They're inexperienced. And then if the Warriors move on, the Lakers actually dominated them throughout the season. They were 3-1 against them. They had their number. They just are bigger than them. They outplay them. They kind of bully them up. And so I like it. And then at that point in the Western Conference Finals, it's just kind of a toss-up. The Suns are probably going to get there, but like you take a shot at KD. I love it. I don't like Chris Paul. I don't think he's a winner. I think that every team he goes to, they falter because of his leadership ability, which is 0. So I got the Lakers coming out of the West, and coming out of the East, I thought the Sixers. It's their time. Embiid is playing out of his mind. He's averaging 33 points a game, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. I think he should get the MVP this season. And then also with the Sixers, there's a guy on that team that we really don't talk about anymore, which is really weird, but it's James Harden. When James Harden isn't the focal point of your team,
there you go.
That's a huge benefit to not only the team, but also James Harden. Doesn't have that pressure on him like he did when he was up with the Rockets. So he can just play his game. And if they need him to score 30, he still has that ability. But he can just do his thing, kind of stay under the radar. And I think that's such a big benefit for them. I think the Celtics have kind of faltered in this last month of the season. The Bucks are great, but I really think that Embiid's the best player in the league at this moment. And I think that he's going to take them to the finals because they haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I think that they're going to win the East. And then, of course, the Lakers win the whole thing because I'm a Laker fan. So,
and the 76ers, what sucks for them too is I got to say they've been in the spotlight for so long. Like they had Simmons and Embiid, and it's like you've been waiting for so long. For so long, you've been waiting. Yeah, I'm there with you. Honestly, I think probably the only difference I could possibly see is I could see the Jazz. I could see them. I'm sorry, not the Jazz. The Nuggets. I apologize. Wow, that was embarrassing. The Nuggets getting
like
there.
The same. Boring.
Yeah, it's really like
Those Midwest teams,
they've both been irrelevant for so long. It's tough, and that's a shot. That is directly a shot. Don't edit that out. This is a shot. The Nuggets, I could see them because they are playing good basketball, but I actually agree with you. I looked at the West. The Sacramento Kings are young. Memphis is in disarray. The Phoenix Suns have Kevin Durant. I know a lot of people you view it as a plus. I don't. I think he's a big distraction. I think they were having a fine year without him. I didn't understand the move. Whatever. The Clippers are the Clippers. They're going to Clipper. Golden State, it doesn't seem like they really have that magic this year. Let's just be honest about what it is. And then, of course, like I said, I just got their name wrong. The Nuggets. Like, I think the Lakers are poised. This is what this team was built for. You look at a guy like Anthony Davis playing MVP type basketball down the stretch. And what's most impressive to me about the Lakers was not LeBron, because I watched his 3 turnovers in the last couple of minutes and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
How dare you, sir? But I will say this, the defense of the Lakers. Now, let's just say Timberwolves shot out of their minds. They shot like over 50, 60% for a lot of that game last night. It was ridiculous. Totally. But when the Lakers battened down the hatches and played defense, it was so refreshing to me to see a team play real defense. I absolutely loved it. I will say I do have a different team, and I think it'd be really fun to watch. And this is purely because it would be fun to watch. Because let's be honest, the East has been a mess all year long. Milwaukee's been a team. Boston, are they real? 76ers is finally their time. Cleveland, I just don't buy it. I'm sorry, Cleveland. I just don't buy it. Dude, this is what the NBA needs. Celtics, Lakers, final. Bring it back. You will bring all of the old heads back that have left basketball. They can't resist it. They cannot resist the highlights of Larry Bird. All those guys out there screaming that Larry Bird is somehow better than LeBron James, but you're outside your mind. You are out of your mind. Or that he's Larry Bird is a 3-point better shooter than Steph Curry. He's not. I'm sorry, he's not. But you will bring those old heads back for the Lakers Celtics with the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird rivalry. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be amazing. It's the perfect time. And it needs to happen. And that's all I want. And I want to see the Lakers do it. And more than that, I want to see LeBron just embrace the Mamba mentality. Now, granted, he passed the ball off.
Yeah.
There was a big shot hit, but I want to see him embrace that mentality down the stretch.
Yeah. What's so impressive to me about the Lakers, specifically, is they started the season 2-10, and all the analytics says they had a 0.3% chance to make the playoffs. Since that point, they went 41-29, which would have made them the 3 or 4 seed at this point if they had, had that same roster. I love the roster construction that Rob Pelinka did a hell of a job at the trade deadline. I don't think that's said enough. He didn't, go for the big home run to try to get Kyrie Irving, because he would have had to trade the whole roster to get him. And look at the Mavs. They were the number 4 team when they got him, and now they're out of the playoffs. They didn't even make the play-in. And going back to the defense that you said about the Lakers, they allowed 16 points in the fourth quarter and overtime combined last night. That was the lowest mark in NBA history. In this season. And that's a testament to Darvin Ham, their head coach. And Darvin Ham has been given a lot of flack this year about his in-game rotations, not calling timeouts, just the type of way he's coaching. But people forget it's his first year being a head coach, right? But Darvin Ham teams, he's been in the league. He was a player, a great defensive player, assistant coach with the Bucks before the Lakers. And those guys play defense. That is a staple of Darvin Ham. And the Lakers, for so many years prior to this, never played defense. And they are a top 3 defensive team in the league. And they are not going to win pretty. It's not going to be a silky smooth game, but they have a chance to disrupt a lot of teams because of their defense. And I love that you made that point, because if they're playing defense, they're going to be in every single game and every single series that they're in because of Darvin Ham. So shout out to him.
100%, dude. I'm excited. I loved it. I have not watched a ton of NBA this year, and I'm so glad. I turned it out for the stretch. I was excited to see some defense. And again, that is a direct shot at the stars in the league. I want to see you play more. I want to see you play more games. I want to see you not sit out on your contracts. I want to see you not demand trades. That's what I'm looking for. I want the same guys on the same team. If you're confused, I have so many hurt feelings towards the Lakers with the squad that they let go. I still look at some of these guys that are out there like Zubac and Randall. I look at these guys and it hurt my heart. It hurts my heart to see these guys be all-stars. Hurts my heart to see these guys be all-stars for other teams. There is another playoff situation happening as we get underway next week. I love to see it. We got the NHL playoffs. Listen, people, there's a lot of people listening to this that don't watch NHL all year.
Listen.
That's fine. Watch playoff hockey. It's so exciting. It's like a fast play. Like people talk about, well, I wish maybe if soccer had more goals, I could get into it. Maybe if they weren't such babies, I could get into it. Maybe if they didn't go down. That's what hockey is. There's a lot of guys who don't watch basketball anymore. Well, everybody's so soft. As soon as you get touched, it's a foul. If they let them like touch and get contact and blah, blah. That's what hockey is. It's a fast-paced game in which there's a ton of goals typically, or at least a ton of shots. We're talking like 30, 40, 50 shots on goal, right? We're talking a ton of shots on goal at the very least. It's so exciting. I love it. The playoffs are set to get underway. The only thing that's being decided now is the seeding. That's it. All the teams are locked in. The seeding is all that's being decided. Big Z, you going to be watching these NHL playoffs?
Yeah, man. As a bandwagon hockey fan, bandwagon Kings fan,
attaboy.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Playoff hockey's it's fun. The last few years, I've been finding myself watching these games because, like you said, there's a bunch of goals scored. It's nonstop action. The guys are hitting each other. The fans are into it, and I think, in my opinion, that home ice, or having that home advantage is biggest in hockey out of any of the sports. I just think that the fans are just on top of you. They're just like the way the arenas are constructed. And it's such an advantage to be on your home ice. And I love how much the fans are into it, how intense they are. It just seems like a whole different atmosphere compared to so many other sports, even in the playoffs. And playoffs are so fun in all the sports, but hockey just seems to take it up another level. The intensity, there's no lack of action, and it's really, really fun to watch. I really am looking forward to seeing the Kings, do well. I think that last year was really a stepping stone for them. None of us really thought that they would, even take the Flames to 7 games. And the fact that they did, no one was really disappointed that they lost. They actually saw that as a win, and they really built upon that. And I think that they're going to be great this season or in the playoffs. And then the Boston Bruins, 64 wins. That's stupid. It's incredible. It's a record. They're playing out of their minds. But as hockey is, man, like it's the most unpredictable sport. It's kind of like baseball. You can be the number 1 seed and you can get knocked out in the first round. So you never know with hockey, but it's fun, man. You've taught me a lot. Fredo is a Kings fan, a huge Kings fan.
Huge.
Bennett, before they even won their Stanley Cups,
try it, baby.
10 years ago, like that, he's huge. So he knows so much. So yeah, what do you think, man? Are you excited? You pumped?
I'm so excited, dude. I'm excited. What makes hockey great is I'm excited to hate players as well. Like that's what makes hockey. Like I hate Connor McDavid so much. Like he's so stupid good at hockey. Like I hate him. But like he's so good. He's so exciting to watch. You look at the Avalanche, they're coming off a Stanley Cup win. They're going to be there. The Bruins, there's so many storylines. The Bruins, they just put down the best season in hockey history, but there's so many good teams. I mean, again, show my homerness. The Kings have put down their second greatest season in their history. Yeah. And it's only good enough right now for the 5th seed. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like there are so many good teams in hockey, especially when you look at teams from the West where you could kind of gimp in a little bit. That is not the case this year. You have got to be playing good hockey from both sides. I think this thing is wide open. I think we're going to see some crazy hits. I think it's going to be a ton of goals. I think it's going to be all the excitement that fans are looking for. The stars are out. And again, the best thing about hockey, there's two things. Okay. It's team first, right? It's guys that are inside of a team, inside of a system. You're on one line. You got to depend on the other four. The other four lines, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's four lines typically in hockey. So you got one main line, your starting line, and you got the three lines behind them, right? And so you're on your line. They might move you around, but you've got to be able to depend on these other guys. It's so important. It's so key. It's just what makes hockey so great. Everybody serves a different role. And so as good as Connor McDavid is, he's only on one line. So you've got another three lines. I will say the Oilers are playing some real good hockey down the stretch. So are the Knights, and I hate to give the Knights credit. Dallas has been young. The Dallas, when you talk about the 76ers kind of finally arriving, that's Dallas. Dallas has been young and talented for years. They've been talked about for years, and it seems like finally this year they're arriving. And then the Kings, everybody knows, anybody who's ever watched hockey, if the Kings get in the playoffs, watch out, baby, because they can get in as a 6. They can get it as an 8, 2012, 2014. If you was Vancouver in 2012, you remember you were a President's Trophy winner. The Kings took you out in the first round sweep, baby. Ooh. I was there game 3, 1-0. That's right. Listen, there's not much better than playoff hockey. I got to say, I'm so excited. It's fun, man. I have nothing else but to be a homer. I got my Kings winning the Stanley Cup. You could ask me next year. I got the Kings winning the Stanley Cup. I don't care. I'm a big homer in hockey. I'm super biased. I don't pretend to not be biased. There's a lot of good teams. It's wide open. Win or lose, I'm going to be watching this thing the whole way through. I cannot wait to watch every possible hockey game.
It's that type of sport. Like, even if your team loses, you're still going to watch it because it's that exciting. You know, there's a lot of fans in a lot of other sports that, you know, their team's out of it and I'm not going to watch this, you know, but hockey is just that exciting. Like you get into it. You just do. You get nervous for whatever team is up by 1 and it's 20 seconds left and the guy they're playing empty net, you know, and they're giving their all to get that last. It's so much fun and it's so intense. Like the level, if you think regular season hockey is intense, like they just double that intensity in the playoffs. And like you said, the hits are so cool. The refs just kind of let them do their thing. It's fun, man. We're going to encourage you. We're going to go round by round as they're going. And we're going to be talking to you guys a lot about it because it's really a great time.
Yeah, listen to our next episode because once these things are set, we'll have actual picks. We can't make some picks yet because there's still some seeding to be decided. But once this thing is set, we're gonna be coming out with some picks. Listen, keep your eye on it. It's so much fun. It's so exciting. NBA, same way. Here's the thing, though, about the NHL. It's a bit like football to me in that you don't have to necessarily have a horse in the race, and it almost makes it a little bit more fun, right? Like you're a big Niners fan. I'm a big Rams fan. But when you're watching a football game, when your team's out, yes, you're bummed your team's out, but a little bit, it's like, oh, man, this is nice. I get to just enjoy the game. You know? Right. I get to just unbiased look at this game. Hockey is the same way. You get to just unbiased watch the game. Oh, my God, I can't believe they're pulling their goaltender with 3 minutes left. This is crazy. Like, it's just wild. Wrapping up here, we're jumping over to the MLB. Wrapping up is probably a little misleading, but that's okay. We had opening day 2 weeks back. Dude, MLB has been everything I've been hoping that it would be. The games are shorter. They're faster. It doesn't feel like we're missing anything. It doesn't feel like we're missing even a thing, to be honest with you. It seems like what got cut out was the little like stretching of the gloves, you know, before they got into the batter's box, you know, just like, oh yeah, I'm going to adjust his strap. Nomar Garciaparra about 1,000 times for no reason. You know, it just seems like it's so much faster. It's such a quicker game, and I love it. I love what I'm seeing from games. I love that stolen bases are up. I love that runs are up. Offenses are playing better. It's just the whole thing. I love everything about it, man. What are you seeing with the MLB?
Have you noticed there's a lot more bunting? I don't know, like, what's the cause of that since, like, the shift's been banned, but, like, there's so much more small ball and guys actually taking good at bats, which is crazy. I love it. I think it's great for the game. We talked about it. It's making the game grow. Just the time being shaved off by 30 minutes is huge. You don't have to deal with a game starting at 7:00 and you having to stay up until 11:00 just for 9 innings. You could go to a game and be back, by 9:30 or, with your kids, school night. Yeah. It's not going to be a huge deal. The guys, like you said, offense is up. You're not having guys, striking out as much. Home runs are still there, but, there's a more well-rounded, healthier game. It's not just home runs and strikeouts. I think it's great. It's, you don't have a Pedro Baez's, right? Just staring at the batter for a minute, before he pitches.
For no reason. Just to throw a ball.
Just to throw a ball. We were talking before we started recording and watching the Dodgers Giants, and there's a 15 pitch at bat with Freddie Freeman. Foul ball. But it's crazy. Foul ball, you get right back into it, you were saying, as opposed to last year, it's maybe a minute, but 30 seconds to a minute.
Walk around pitches, the mound, check out the person in the first row eating a hot dog. Exactly.
And it just goes like there's that used to be the dig on baseball was like, oh, super exciting moment. 3-2 bases loaded and foul ball. And we had to wait a minute for the next action. Now it's 15 seconds. Batter has to get into the batter's box in 8 seconds. Pitcher has to throw it in the next 10 or whatever it is. It's going to help this game grow. And I think,
especially the intentionality of it, not even just the accidental, but the intentionality of these players, go out and talk to them, go out and meet with them. Now it's like, hey, you have this many meetings.
Right.
If you come out again, you got to pull him. You get this many throws over to first base. So you can't just throw the hitter off their rhythm just to try to throw him off his rhythm for no reason. You throw it over a couple times. Now this guy can basically take second. There's nothing you could do, right? There's nothing you could do to keep him on the bag. There's nothing you could do. So the idea that, it's just a beautiful game. And then you look at how wide open it is. Outside of Tampa Bay, right, who's somehow 12-0, so on pace to win 162, right? Justin Verlander goes down, creates a little uncertainty, right, for his team. You don't know. You told me before, Seager goes down for Texas. You don't know. Texas was leading their division. Yep. And then you got guys emerging. This is going to be a little bit of a homer take. I'm not going to lie. But it looks like my boy Will Smith is finally ready to take his place as the best offensive catcher in all of baseball. Hands down. I agree. It's going to be an exciting year. It's going to be a really exciting year.
Yeah, I love Will Smith. Obviously, we're big Dodger fans here. We've been on this guy, for a couple seasons now. And a reason why a lot of you guys don't hear about him is because he's just quiet, puts his head down and he plays, like kind of like Freddie Freeman. Like, people know him, but he's not boasting. He's just playing the game of baseball. Yep. Will Smith has 12 RBI already this year, 3 homers, 306 average. He always gives you a professional at bat, which I love. And he calls a good game behind the plate. I really think that's an underrated part of his game. I think he does a great job with that. Clayton Kershaw doesn't have to, sub him out every game for Austin Barnes. Like tonight, Clayton Kershaw was pitching to him, which is a huge testament to have Clayton Kershaw, the GOAT of pitchers, to say, I trust you calling my pitches tonight. So I love it. Justin Verlander, all I can say is Mets, the guy's 40 years old and you signed him to a 2-year, $86 million deal, like $43 million a year. And the guy is already hurt. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That money could have gone to so many other places, yet you tied it up in this guy who hasn't done anything for you yet. Yeah, he had a great season last year, but dude, he's 40 years old. And how you can rejoice and all those people say, well, he deserves to get paid. No, this is a stupid, dumbass move by the Mets. Dumb.
Right.
It's crazy.
He's already injured. Yes, he's getting ready to rehab. I get it. He's getting ready to rehab. I understand that. It's not as serious as they once thought. But again, you're depending on Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander.
Right.
Like, great pitchers, both extremely well beyond their years. Right. So I don't understand you at all. But the rest of baseball, Baltimore, yeah, they're 6-6, but they're playing some exciting games. They've completely reinvented. I don't know what the technical name for it is because they're not calling it that, but they've completely reinvented pouring a drink into a nozzle, a funnel type thing, and pouring it through a spout. They've reinvented that, right? There's just so much fun going on in baseball. Mookie Betts having a blast again with JD Martinez, Freddie Freeman being reunited. It just seems like baseball is just headed in the right direction. The Minnesota Twins on top of their division, Texas on top of their division. And you might be wondering, why does this matter? Just hear me out. Atlanta on top of their division, Milwaukee on top of their division, Arizona on top of their division, Tampa Bay on top of their division. Listen, the point is these things are wide open, and I think we're going to see a wide open baseball year this year. I think that was the best thing that baseball did about changing the interleague play rules, changing it so that each MLB team will see every other MLB team. I think it's going to be so much more exciting. There's going to be so much more room for change. There's going to be so much more room for wins, losses outside of your own division that I think it's going to be a much closer race. Whereas, if you're playing in your division 19 times, again, every loss, it's like that's a 2-game swing, right? But if you lose to some random team, it's a 1-game swing. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I love it. It's so exciting to me. I'm going to be watching all year long. And I'll say this, I'll be honest. I'm a big Dodger fan. I always have been, but I've watched more random baseball games this year already than I have in a long time. Look, dude, every time the Phillies are on, I'm like, oh, are they going to win today? Are they going to figure it out? Are they actually going to get it right? I want to see. I want to know. I want to see what's going on. Right? There's so many storylines around baseball. I love to see it. And I think, just last thing on Will Smith, I think the best part about it, one of the comments I heard most when we were going through the World Baseball Classic was, who the heck is our catcher? Who is this guy with JT Realmuto? Who is this guy? And it's like, dude, this is Will Smith. Will Smith is as good as a dog. Right. This guy gets it done. On the other side of that, dude, I can't believe we're like 2 weeks into the season and a guy like Ohtani and a guy like Trout, we've already seen that storyline, right? Ohtani goes 7 innings, like 12 Ks, 1 earned run, Angels lose 7-6.
Classic. Just total waste. It's such a total waste and shame. I mean, granted, what are they right now? I think they're second place. They're tied with Texas in their division. So they're tied for first. But I mean, they just lost to the Nationals, like 2 days ago. Like, can't lose to the Nationals. Just, I don't know what the Angels are doing, man. It's just such a waste of the 2 most talented players that we've seen in our generation.
Because they're going to fall apart. Last year, they were in first place for like a whole 2 months or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they had a great blistering start. And what are you going to do with Ohtani? Like, especially with the expanded playoffs, I think it probably hurts them the most because actually probably the only team that hurts because if they're in the race, like even if in that third wildcard spot, kind of have to keep Ohtani instead of trading him at the deadline. And then you're going to lose him for nothing in the offseason.
Right.
Right. I think they should have traded him this offseason, to be honest, to get a haul from him. And this is nothing against Ohtani. He's so great that they could have gotten so much back from. But as the Angels just being a terribly ran organization, like they're going to lose this superstar for literally nothing. It's insane to me how they're wasting these guys' talents. And I mean, for their sake, for Trout's sake and Ohtani's sake, I really hope that they make a run in the playoffs because they seem to enjoy that during the World Baseball Classic. That's what they need. This is what baseball needs, to have the best players in their league playing when it counts. So, I mean, I hope they do it, but it's the Angels, man. Like, come on.
And this is not one of those things where it's like, oh, they're Dodger fans, they're hating on the Angels. Listen, it's not a real rivalry. They're in different leagues. Okay. If you don't understand that, you're not a real baseball fan. There's American League, there's National League. It's not a real rivalry. I hate the Giants. That's a real rivalry. That makes sense. Listen, Artie Moreno, all you needed to know about this team is that Artie Moreno came out last year and said, Ohtani's on the trade block. I want 4 of your best. I want your 4 best prospects. Every team across MLB went, great. these 4 are these the ones you want? And he's like, oh man, I was just kidding. I wanted 4 and ready MLB ready talent. Okay, here's 4 plus MLB ready talent, or we can change it up. Do you want these 2 and these 2? What do you want? Oh, I was just kidding. You know what? Let me call the whole thing off. I was just saying that to gauge interest. That guy's terrible. Big Z. This has been fun, dude. It was good to be back, wasn't it? It was good to be back with the people.
Just talking sports. Just
talking sports.
Just hanging with my guy. You know,
keeping it brevity,
it's
if
fun.
You will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Keeping it brevity, my boy. It's fun, man. It's a good time to be a sports fan. You got the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, baseball is just starting. Oh, it's gonna be a good couple months, man. It's gonna be good. And March Madness just ended. But yeah, just we're at the height of it right now. So
that's right. We're at the height of it now. March Madness just ended, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong. Shout out to the NCAA women's tournament that had a crazy record-breaking finals game. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to the men. Shout out to UConn. You did it. But this is the time of year, right? I love this time of year. We got playoff hockey. We got playoff basketball. We got baseball any other night you want. Baseball's back. It gives you something to watch. For those people that are like, baseball's too long. It's 162 games. Why don't you like having something on your TV? I love it. I love that I don't have to decide what to watch every night. Like the most painful thing, and maybe it's because I'm a dad. Like the most painful thing for me as like a dad at like on Tuesday at 5 or 6 o'clock is like, what are we going to watch? What's on? Baseball. Baseball's on. So boom, there you go. I love it. This has been fun. I am Frito-Lay, aka the Lay, aka whatever it is you want to call me to keep listening. I'm joined as always by my boy Big Z. We hope you have a great night. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you on the next episode. We are out. We thank you again for listening. Have a great day, great week, great night, everybody. We'll catch you next time.